Hi everyone, welcome back to the Robertson Media Center, UVA. Today we're going to continue our introduction to the Canon C200 by discussing how to set up the camera and what settings we recommend as a starting point. In the bag, you'll find a handle, a screen mount, and a monitor cable. Attach the handle to the top of the camera like this. Tighten the knob to secure it. Then, attach the screen arm assembly to the front. Attach the cable to the back of the screen, with the white arrow pointing toward you. Connect the other end to the camera. The port is labeled Video and has the same white arrow. Before you capture an image, you'll need to choose a lens. It must be a Canon EF mount lens, unless you plan to provide your own adapter. To connect the lens, first remove the body cap and place it somewhere safe. Right now, the camera sensor is very vulnerable to damage and easily collects dust. Never leave the sensor uncovered unless you are mounting a lens. Always keep the body cap on if you don't have a lens connected. Also, consider where you decide to change lenses, especially when outside in windy, wet, or dusty conditions. Now you can remove the back cap of your lens and store it somewhere safe. Align the red dots on the mount and the lens and insert. With a gentle clockwise turn, you should feel the lens click into place. Make sure you take the front lens cap off and store it. Please note that you will have 3 caps to store. Keep them all together. A zipper pocket inside the bag would be a great choice. Make sure you turn on or off autofocus in the side of the lens, AF or MF. We recommend keeping it on manual focus when not in use. If you attempt to focus the lens manually on autofocus, it could damage the autofocus mechanism. Never move the focus ring with autofocus on. Depending on your lens, you may have 1, 2, or even 3 adjustment rings, especially if using an adapter. Make sure you determine which ring is for focus, if focusing manually. If you have a zoom lens, there will be a zoom ring which changes focal length. Less commonly, if using an older lens or an adapter for instance, you may have an f-stop or t-stop ring on your lens. Now you can insert the battery. With the Canon logo facing outward and upright, insert the battery into the slot and gently slide to the left. It will click into place. Press the battery release and slide the battery to the right to remove the battery. Make sure you have fully charged the battery. We make no claims that batteries are adequately charged when you pick them up. Just insert the battery into the charger and plug it in. You have the option of using SD or CFast cards. Either way, we recommend having a backup. Make sure the camera is off before inserting a media card. On the back of the camera, you'll find 2 ports for SD cards. Each has a garage door you must slide upward. Notice the diagram next to the slot to help insert properly. Make sure once inserted that you've selected the correct card, which is indicated with the LED lights. To remove, press in to release the card, and then gently pull. A CF card, or in this case an enhanced version called a CFast card, is inserted on the left side of the camera. Slide down to release the tab and insert gently. Make sure to notice the diagram next to the slot to insert it properly. In order to set up and erase your media card, select Menu on the screen. In the menu, navigate to Recording Setup Media and select Initialize Media. Warning: this will delete all the footage on them permanently. Only do this if you're 100% sure you have it backed up. We recommend initializing each card before you begin to use it. There are many frame rate options to choose on this camera. To select one, go into the menu and navigate to Recording Setup Media. On the second page, you'll find frame rate. Press the toggle to select and see your options. 23.98, or essentially 24 frames per second, closely mimics cinematic motion on film. 29.97, or about 30 frames per second, is the standard for video and broadcast traditionally. 59.94, or about 60 frames per second, can be used to avoid motion blur in fast-moving action, like sports, or, if you're Peter Jackson, to get an aesthetically crisper image. However, these aren't your only options. Return to the menu and navigate to recording again. On the first page, you'll find recording mode. Here you can choose other modes with different ranges of frame rates. For instance, under slow motion, you can record up to 120 frames per second. But it plays back at your selected frame rate, so it will keep the FPS setting under the frame rate menu. This is also where you can set up the camera for pre-recording, stop motion, or time-lapse. The Canon C200 can record in 3 different resolutions. High definition, or HD, which is 1920 by 1080 pixels. Ultra HD, or UHD 4K, is 3840 by 2160 pixels. True 4K, or Cine 4K, is 4096 by 2160 pixels, and is the largest option in this menu. Keep in mind, though, that 4K produces really large files. To select one, go in the menu and navigate to Recording Setup Media. On the second page, you'll find Resolution. Press the toggle to select and see your options. Keep in mind that True 4K can only be recorded with a CFast card or an external recorder. The best resolution you can record with an SD card is UHD 4K. Either way, check your media card to ensure it is fast enough and has enough memory for these large files. There are 2 more options to be aware of: relay recording and double slot recording. They require SD cards in both slots. Relay recording will switch SD cards while recording to seamlessly move from one to the other. Double slot records simultaneously to both slots. This can be useful for an immediate backup or for sending dailies to an editor immediately without needing to transfer footage. These modes can be found in the menu under Recording Media Setup on the 3rd page. Is there something strange going on? Well, if you'd like a fresh start, you can reset the system. Navigate to System Setup and select Reset. Keep in mind, though, that you'll need to reconfigure all of your settings, which can take some time. Coming up next, we'll begin to operate the camera. Stay with us.